everybody, Jeremy here. So today I'm going to be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys Superman of Earth-3, also known as Ultraman, from the Crime Syndicate. And this is part of a Build-A-Figure wave in which you can get Starro. So this is the first figure released in that wave. I got this at Target, $24.99 standard price. And we don't really know for sure what the other figures are. There's going to be 3, and to my knowledge, they haven't been officially revealed. But yeah, they're coming eventually. So yeah, this is a very interesting Superman and evil Superman. But let's see how he stands up to the regular guys. Let's open it up. So there's nothing really all that complicated about Ultraman here, but there are a couple of interesting things that I do want to point out. But before we get to him, let me show you these Build-A-Figure pieces. We've got I guess this would be like the front part of Starro. And then here are little connector pieces on the back. And then we also have this, which I'm not sure if it's actually a part of the Build-A-Figure because, you know, there's nothing in here that snaps. But if it isn't, and this is just something extra that maybe you can kind of put on Starro, that's kind of cool because as we wait for more of these figures to come out, you could use this as like a regular accessory. Like you could just straight up attach this to like a figure's face, you know, or something like that. So it's kind of like a Build-A-Figure piece slash accessory. And it's pretty cool looking too. He's got like these really nasty looking teeth, you know, on the underside. So more on that sometime in the future. I don't know why McFarlane hasn't gotten around to telling us more about this Build-A-Figure and the things that come with it and when they're coming out. But anyway, chances are if you have another Superman already from McFarlane Toys, then this one won't show you anything that you're not already used to. This figure is unique just based upon the character himself. Basically a Superman from an opposite world, basically. He is evil, he is not good. Green kryptonite gives him energy, and the yellow sun takes that energy away. So that's the character for you. His costume, still reminiscent of the classic Clark Kent Superman, donned in all blue with a little bit of red and yellow there on the symbol. His cape, however, is really kind of cool. It is very floppy. It's a pretty heavy cape, you know, if I'm being honest. I like it though. It's not a bad thing. It's plugged into his back. And just like all these other capes with McFarlane Toys, it flows, or at least it's molded to give the appearance of it flowing. And, you know, and I rather do like this cape. Really do. It's very soft. I like it. And it's very flowy and it's very heavy. If you look, well, not very heavy, but, you know, it just feels a little heavy. You look on the back of them, there's no design there whatsoever. It's just straight up blue, pure blue, no other detail. And I don't think that even in the comic book versions of this character that there really is any detail back there to speak of. So in that case, it would just be true to form. So at this point, the only thing left to talk about is the fact that he doesn't have any side eyes because his eyes are painted red. So that's great. So you can have him looking in whatever direction you want with whatever figure you want, and it will look just fine. Doesn't come with any other accessories besides the standard base that all these figures come with. So no interchangeable hands and also no flight stand for this guy. Really no room for it in the box since you got the Build-A-Figure pieces. But as far as the articulation goes, it's kind of like a double-edged sword to me because, you know, even though the core of the articulation is fine, he's got a really weird problem, or at least mine has this really weird problem that it reminded me of the Year 2 Batman. And maybe not all figures are like this, but his right foot is like real pigeon-toed, and I kind of fixed it just through a whole lot of like twisting and angling because it was so strange. Whenever I would try to get his foot to just be flat on the ground, it would want to basically like kind of twist, sort of like this, but even when it was completely flat. And I'm trying not to recreate that because I don't want to kind of fiddle with it anymore. But basically, his foot just would not sit straight. It would always kind of be bent in, or it would just look like he had a broken ankle, really. And I'm not too sure why that is. It's something that happened, you know, when they're putting it together in the factory, like something wasn't quite straight, and I somehow managed to fix that. But it's something that the Year 2 Batman also had a weird problem with. You know, just this strange pigeon-toed foot. And he also had that problem. Now, when you look at him, he looks, kind of normal, just fine. And it helps him to stand up a lot better than he was when he was falling all over the place. But that might be something worth looking out for, just in case this figure, your figure that you buy, has that same problem. But the rest of the articulation is pretty good, and it's quite smooth. Got that nice elbow bend. This is as far as that elbow can go before you start actually hitting the figure, so I like that. Get your butterfly in and out like that. Rotating it all around, that's really good stuff. He is a Superman, so we got to see how far you can lift his head up, and, pretty good looking up. Not so much looking down, so it's kind of either straight ahead or like you're seriously looking up. It's even better if you got a spare flight stand that you can put him on. That will be awesome. There's nothing hindering the articulation at all. So, you got your left and your right movement. You got your front and back crunches. You can go back a lot further than you can go forward, but it is also there. Legs, kick forward, a little bit. Kick back, not really. But then you got these nice knees here that you can bend. And the way that the knees are bending, they're almost completely, it's almost completely bent, kind of like how that Robin was from the Dark Knight Returns line. I think the Robin, her legs could bend all the way until they basically were touching themselves, the lower part of the leg touching the back of the thigh. This one almost gets there, and hey, that's great. Other legs are going to do that too as well. And then, up and down with your toe articulation and your ankle articulation and your tilting and swiveling, and you got all that stuff, so standard articulation, but it's still good articulation. If it wasn't for that weird issue with the foot and the pigeon-toedness and me having to mess around with it until I accidentally fixed it and got it right, then this articulation would pretty much be everything that you would need in an action figure, and especially in a Superman. I do like the way that his face looks. He does not necessarily look like a typical Clark Kent Superman. He's not a Clark Kent Superman, but at the same time, I like how there's still some differentiating facial features for this Ultraman. So he doesn't quite look like a standard Superman. He's a little bit different. The hair is also a little bit different. It's spikier in some ways. And that's just fine. Just helps to make him stand out a little bit more. And I think the U on his chest is clean enough. It's clean enough. So, all in all, I'm not disappointed with this figure. It's not something that's going to blow you away. It's Superman, it's kind of white bread, but it really does hit the mark where it matters as far as the articulation on him goes. Except for that foot, that's kind of weird. I don't know if that's going to be widespread or not, but that's really the biggest issue that I have with him. Everything else is fine. The paint is fine. It's not anything that's going to blow you away, but if you're going to stay true to the design of a character, then it's not really any room to be adding a bunch of stuff that, really wouldn't be there. So I can't argue with the pretty much all blue suit. It's the way that it is. And then I like the cape. It's very easy to move, very floppy. It's a nice cape. It's a decent figure. I like it, and it is the first figure for these Build-A-Figure pieces, of course. Can't wait to see the other ones. And hey, if you just want to differentiate, the second time I use that word, if you want to diversify your Superman collection from McFarlane Toys, then hey, man, what better way to make a Superman different than taking away the S and putting a U on the chest? So that is it, you guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching, checking out this review, and I'll be back with some more. So until next time, I'm Jeremy, and I'll talk to you later.